Hello everyone. This week we are looking at a book titled The Queen's Gambit. It's a it's a fictional story slash novel about an orphan girl who becomes a chess champion. The book is about her rise from being a nobody to an international chess champion who conquers the world. The book touches upon topics like drug abuse, sexism in chess, alcoholism, etc. And it was written in 1983. I found this book intriguing for the simple reason that I saw a lot of posts around a Netflix TV series with the same title, which was adapted from the novel. I wanted to read the novel first to see how enthralling it is. The author of the book is Walter Travis. Walter Travis was an American novelist, and a lot of his books seem to have been adapted to making movies. Moving on to the summary of the book is like a movie, of course, right? It has protagonists and it has its ups and downs of the protagonist and how the person recovers from that, etc. is all described in this book. The protagonist here is a girl named Elizabeth Harmon, who is put into an orphanage at a very young age because of her parents getting killed for various reasons. And the orphanage is a normal orphanage like anywhere else, with boys and girls, and they teach all of them the basic schooling and they take care of their basic needs, etc. In addition to doing all of these things, for some reason the orphanage also gives out tranquilizers as part of the general medication that it gives to the kids, and Elizabeth gets addicted to these tranquilizer pills because it gives her a sense of belonging to what is happening around her, etc. And parallelly she also gets interested in this game of chess. How her teacher asks her to carry out an errand, and she goes to the basement and sees the janitor playing some kind of a game, and she's intrigued by this board, and he's sitting alone and moving pieces, these wooden pieces, etc. She gets to inquire with this guy what is happening around, and he makes a statement saying that this game is not for the girls. But she's persistent, tries to understand what is happening around, and somehow convinces him to teach him the game. And she picks up very, very quickly, and she becomes a rock star in the game. She gets to represent her orphanage in some schools, etc. She wins prizes, everybody's talking about it. But parallelly, she is also addicted to these tranquilizer pills, and she tries to steal the tranquilizer pills in bulk after they've stopped giving it to the children. And she gets caught, and the punishment that is being given out to her is that she cannot go playing out chess anymore. The only sense of hobby that she had in her life is taken away from her. She continues to learn whatever she could learn, etc. And then the story moves on to the next stage, wherein she gets adopted by a set of parents who live in a city in the Kentucky state. Now they take her along, and they seem to be nice people actually. But what happens in a period of time is that the father who adopts Elizabeth leaves both of them alone and goes somewhere else and not to be seen ever after for long. So the lady, who is Mrs. Wheatley here, takes care of Elizabeth from then on. She's not really keen about Elizabeth playing chess or anything like that. She puts her in a school. She takes care of her basic needs, etc. And when Elizabeth wants to buy books which are related to chess or chess boards, etc., she's not really keen about it. She does not so much of an interest. And Elizabeth somehow gets to know about a local tournament. She registers herself, and she knew that she was a decent player, and hence she wants to play against the best player in the tournament. But the organizers tell her that you should go through the ranks because she was unrated at that point in time, and hence she plays all the novice people who are there. She thrashes them left, right, center, gets to meet the Kentucky state champion, and she wins against him also. And that is her first win and a cash prize that she wins, and she tries to deposit it, etc. And that is when Mrs. Wheatley understands the kind of potential that Elizabeth has, and she starts to show interest from then on. Now she takes her to various other tourneys across the country. She beats some key people and gets covered in the magazines, and she gets into spotlight from here on. She goes on to play the US Open as well, and she meets a formidable opponent in the name of Benny Watts, who she is not able to defeat for the first time. She feels that she's being threatened by an opponent, and she gets lost. And the championship is shared in that. Then the first chance for her to travel outside of the country comes to her. She goes to Mexico City in an international competition, and she gets to meet a formidable opponent in a Russian for the first time in the name Borgov. So a lot of competition goes on there as well. She gets to meet Borgov in the final game, and she loses to him. And meanwhile, Mrs. Wheatley also dies of a disease in Mexico, so nowhere else to go but to come back to her house. She's completely lost as to what she could do, etc. And that's when she becomes friends with Benny Watts again, who helps her recover from this loss personally as well as in the game front. And he also teaches her what to be done in becoming a grandmaster and in defeating people in the next level. She goes on to play in Paris for a tournament and gets to meet Borgov again. So consecutively, she gets to meet Borgov in the finals of championships. She knew that she was going to meet Borgov, and she prepares for it. And she's able to hold him for the first half of the game, and somehow she loses a plot, and then Borgov again wins. So if you see throughout the story, there are these key people who come in, say be it the first guy, Kentucky State Champion, or Benny Watts, or Borgov, who are people who are key frontiers or milestones for Elizabeth to cross over as she progresses in the next stage. Right, and to her currently the frontier is Borgov, and she's not able to defeat him. And she comes back from Paris with a significant defeat that has happened to her, and she gets into alcoholism. She drinks a whole lot, and she goes out of control. And in fact, she goes on to lose to a novice player in a local tourney. And that is when she realizes that she has a gift and she cannot throw it away by getting addicted to alcohol. She calls her childhood friend from orphanage, who is a fitness trainer now, and she channelizes the energy of Elizabeth into fitness and training and etc., and thereby move her away from the alcohol addiction. She continues to win a few tournaments here and there, and she gets to play at the Moscow tournament, wherein players from across the world are invited to play against key players in the Russian chess. Of course, Borgov is also there, but there are other players who are equally good as Borgov that Elizabeth has to beat before she can meet Borgov. She is able to beat every other Russian player convincingly, and gets to meet Borgov in the final, and somehow she is able to beat Borgov one last time. As is in a movie, the protagonist has to win at the end, and the novel becomes very predictable at that point. Throughout the book, if you see, there are references made in terms of she being a girl in chess, and how she is the best girl player in chess, even though she was the best player in chess. The press and the magazines quote her like this, and she's not very particularly keen about that kind of statements that are being made. And she gets addicted to tranquilizers, she gets addicted to alcohol. You can very clearly see that she was an outlier in the scheme of things, and somehow you can relate to that. A lot of genius that we see are outliers generally, and she is one among that case. And the fact that the book goes on to describe about her recovery and how she came back from that into becoming the great chess player that she was always. The other important thing about this book is that it starts to describe the game in finer details and the nuances and strategies that the players use. Say, for example, it talks about the Sicilian defense or the Queen's Gambit or the King's Gambit, etc., which are intriguing to understand how they are being strategized. So, for a chess enthusiast, it's a book that you will love and you should read for sure. And also, it gives you a description of the fight that happened between Russia and America in the field of chess during that era. With that, we come to the end of this week's summary. I'll catch up with you with another interesting book the next week. Till then, bye.